afternoon everybody, and welcome to our transition meeting for FS2. If you are new to the school, my name is Miss Leslie, and if you are already with us in the school and your child is in FS1, we are very excited that you are continuing this journey with us through to FS2. So today I want to give you as much information as I can about what to expect in FS2 so that you can prepare your child for August. Okay, so just a bit about our philosophy to begin with. So here at Regent, we want every child to get a really bespoke experience with us. So all learning has a meaning and a purpose, and we take learning directly from children's interests. Opportunities are limitless for our children, and we make sure that we extend and challenge them as much as possible. And the children are very creative and innovative learners, and that is what we want to cherish and build upon in FS2. Okay, so a bit about our teaching approach. So if you are already with us, FS2 is very much a continuation of FS1. It is all within the EYFS curriculum, which is the early years foundation stage, and it is a continuous, as I mentioned, from FS1 right the way through to FS2. So through our teaching, children's passions and interests are at the heart of everything that we do, alongside their well-being. All learning is very centred around the needs of every child individually, and real life experiences are very important to us, and we use these daily within our practice. So if I just show you on here, that top photograph there as an example, the children had the opportunity to create their own creatures. Now, if you have a look on the board behind them, they have some additional prompts that we may not have used with FS1. So we are really looking at our design process here. So they have opportunities to use their imagination first, then to plan it, and then to create it. So it's one big process. If you have a look at the photos underneath, these are examples of things we have used to set up in response to children's interests as well within the classroom. We use a lot of open-ended resources within our classrooms, and these are things that can be used in multiple ways in multiple different times. This allows children to really lead their own learning and to think independently and problem solve independently. All our environments are very neutral. We don't tend to use lots of bright colours because we find that this is too overwhelming and can be overstimulating for the children. Okay, so in FS2, there is a bit more focus on reading and writing when the children are ready. Okay, so I just wanted to show you some stages of writing that children go through. So in order for your child to be able to write with control in a pencil, the muscles in their arms must be strong first. This to develop their writing skills. You know, we do things like climbing, large scale mark making, cutting, using Play-Doh and threading. All of these things that you might see around your child's classroom is actually pre-writing skills. So I've used some examples to show you what the different stages of writing will look like. So if you have a look at number 1 there, these are the early stages of mark making, children using marks in a controlled way. Number 2 there shows when children have moved on from that stage and they are using more circles and lines to represent what they are writing. When you look at number 3 there, the children have then started to use the initial sound of words to write what they have drawn. And then we move on to initial and final sounds of words. And this is about the children really listening to the words to hear what sounds they can hear from the beginning and the end. Then you go on to number 4 there, where children start to put simple words together. And then obviously number 5 at the bottom there are when children are writing words to make sentences. Now, all children are at very different stages within their writing, and what we do as practitioners is we guide the children through each stage. It doesn't matter what stage your child is at, we will support them to move through the stages of writing as and when they are ready. Okay, so learning to read. In a very similar way to writing, there are very broad stages as well as reading words. So they must understand that print carries a meaning for the first thing. So this is why we do a lot of story times with children. We do lots of matching games and activities. We have a reading corner in every classroom, and the children practice things like reading their name. We use story sacks to develop their reading skills by acting out stories as well. They also have a library time every week dedicated to reading stories and enjoying reading as well. And they will take home a library book every week alongside a guided reading book as well, which will be changed every week. So in maths, in order to have an understanding of mathematical concepts, first the children have to be involved practically. So we do this through role play, we do a lot of shop, you know, once they have the concept practically, only then can they start to record their numbers, okay? And that will be a number sentence, like a sum, like an addition or subtraction. But first of all, they have to know and understand concepts practically before they can then use that to actually record numbers. Okay, so outdoors and outdoor play is a crucial part of our curriculum. So we put a lot of focus into our outdoor areas just as much as we do with our indoor provision. And what we tend to do outdoors is we don't want to mirror what the children have access to inside. We make sure there is a variety of other things to do outside that they wouldn't necessarily get a chance to do inside. So as you can see from the pictures, we do lots of large scale painting and mark making. We do as much planting and gardening as we possibly can, because we know we don't have much opportunities in Dubai generally to do these sort of activities. So we want to do that as much as possible, and we want to teach our children to love the outdoor environment by doing things like recycling and exploring nature as well. In particular through our new Forest School programme, which is one of our signature programmes in school. Every child will have an opportunity to visit the Forest School on a weekly basis, and here they will do further exploring of nature and even more planting and investigating with the natural world. So every week, children have a range of specialist lessons that will happen throughout the week. So when you come to school in September, your teacher will go through with you what your class timetable will look like. Each class has a slightly different timetable depending on different days for specialist lessons. We will also have a curriculum meeting with you in September, where your teacher will go through with you more in depth the things that they will be doing with your child. So each week, children have 2 PE sessions, which is their physical development. They will have 2 music sessions, and they will also have an Arabic session, all with our specialist teachers. Okay, so just a bit of housekeeping for over the summer. So children will need their uniform. If you are already with us, you will be familiar with the uniform that they need on which days. But if you are new to the school, the children have a blue uniform for a normal school day. On the days which they are doing PE, they have their white uniform, which is a white polo shirt and white trainers. Please make sure again your child brings spare clothes with them, because we always have accidents, whether the children are playing outside, they sometimes get dirty, they might be painting, or they might be wet in the water tray. So please always make sure the children have spare clothes with them, so we have something that they can change into. They will also need a swimming kit. So FS2 will start swimming from September. So please bring the swimming kit with you. Your teacher will let you know which day your child will be swimming on. Also, again, the children need a water bottle. Please, the plastic water bottles that they can open and close are the best to use. Also, a snack box that the child can use independently so that they can open and close. We are all about making the children as independent as possible. So anything that they can do by themselves will help us as well. Also, the child will need a school bag, not too big, just big enough to fit in their water bottle, their snack, and any library books that they might have to bring back to school. Okay, so for the beginning of the school year, we will have a parent-teacher meeting for the first 2 days of school. So those dates are Monday the 29th and Tuesday the 30th of August. Then what we will have is we will have a couple of shorter days for the children. Again, it's a new class, it's a new environment, so we have to make sure the children are settled, and they will come into school for 2.5-hour sessions on Wednesday the 31st and Thursday the 1st of September. This means that then the children will start school full-time on Friday the 2nd of September. Okay, so don't worry about trying to record those dates down that I have just mentioned. We will send all of this out to you. You will also receive a welcome booklet all about starting school, which explains most of the things I have discussed today. You will also get the schedule for your start of the school year, including your parent-teacher meeting times and the half-day sessions. You will also get a letter to your child from their new teacher to welcome them to their new class and tell them how excited they are to have them in their class next year. Okay, so I just want to run through a few questions that came up prior to our presentation that you have sent in. Okay, so the first question, how can we support our child for their transition? So I would say over the summer at home, talk to your child about starting school and all the things they are really excited about when coming to school. If you are excited, they will be excited. So maybe you could draw some pictures, maybe they could write about things that they're excited to do in their new class. Maybe they could even make a picture for their new teacher so that they feel excited to start school for the beginning of the year. Okay, so will iPads be used in FS2? So we use iPads to record learning. iPads are not used for any other purpose. Screen time is completely only for educational purposes, okay? So there is no need to worry about screens. Children are only taught how to use the iPad when they are recording and uploading their own work for you to see at home, and this is done via our app, which is called Seesaw, which your teacher will explain to you when you start. Okay, so what are the school timings? So the children come into school at 7:45 and they finish at 1 o'clock. So they are the timings for EYFS, all as one department. Okay, so that is the end of our questions now. I would like to thank you all so much for joining us today. Please, if you do have any additional questions or queries, please reach out to me at any time. I'm more than happy to answer them, and we are very excited to welcome you to school in August. We hope you have a great summer.